Next development blog. This one actually came out today on August 4th. This is for changes to the 11.7 test ships. So these are ones we've talked about before. So let's see what they've done this time. So the Spanish Tier 10 destroyer, the Álvaro de Bazán, that they given some buffs to. So they reduced the main battery reload time from 7 to 6.6. I believe that's the second time they've reduced that. The burst fire reload time has also been reduced. That's straight up buffs as I see it anyway. If anybody else sees it different, let me know. Next is the European super destroyer Dalarna, which we had a whole lot to say about when they first announced it, and then they really hit it pretty hard with the nerf bat. And now they're going to give it just a little bit back. They are changing the main battery reload time from 3 seconds down to 2.8. So they went a little too far. They're coming back a little bit. So, okay. Next is the European Tier 9 destroyer, the Velos. And it looks like they're increasing the reload time from 2.2 to 2.5. They are increasing the detectability range a little bit too, by a couple hundred meters. Not sure here nor there for me. American Cruiser Vallejo, Tier 9. So this is kind of like the Tier 9 Worcester, so to speak. Main battery reload time increased from 5 to 5.5 seconds. So yeah, that's like adding 10% to the reload. So that's definitely a nerf, slight nerf. And then the British Cruiser Hampshire Tier 8. This is the one that looks more like a Japanese cruiser than it does a British cruiser in my view. They are increasing the firing range from 15.7 to 16.8. That's a pretty significant increase. That's 1.1 kilometers. Interesting. So there you go. That was an easy one. Quick to go through. But not to fret, there were actually 2 dev blogs released today on August 4th. So let's hit the second one. And this one will be really interesting. So World of Warships 7th anniversary updated operations, which is one I'm really interested to look through and to comment on. Battleship minigame, not really sure about that, and other news. So this is 11.8 closed testing. So in honor of the 7th anniversary, players can expect to complete a new collection called 7 Seas. You got to get the containers. You complete special combat missions as well as daily, get them free in daily bundles and all that stuff. That will guarantee the full completion of the collection. Let's see what we've got here. They've graded some stuff out. That lets you know what the container looks like. This is interesting. Very interesting. So the collection consists of 4 sections with 4 items each. The reward for completing each section is 1 day of premium. The reward for the entire collection is 3 distant voyagers. Can't talk. 3 distant voyages containers, a commemorative flag, and an achievement. Attaboy. That's what we call that at work. When you do something great and your reward is attaboy. Go do some more. Do that again. So yeah, I mean the distant voyages containers are fine, but I mean, you know, camos mean nothing now. They're just decorations. So it's here nor there. If if I've got them, I'll smoke them if I've got them, but otherwise, what does it matter? So let's see what else we've got here. In honor of the holiday, we've added the following to the game. The 7 Seas permanent camouflages for Mahan, Indract, and Sinop. It looks okay. First impression is that it's okay. It's middling. I wouldn't say it's... we know the art department did a good job. I mean, we already know that. But, I mean, as far as loving the camo. I would, it's fine. I'm not going to say I love it. I certainly don't hate it. It's just sitting in the middle. You know, if we've got like a 5-point scale, this one would be, you know, like a solid 3 to 3.5, right in that range. They're also doing Commanders, Masters of the Seven Seas, and Mistress of the Seven Seas. Oh, so it's Poseidon and, well, I've got a joke for that, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep that one to myself. But anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Poseidon. That's all I'll say. Festive rewards. For the 7th anniversary, gifts await players in the form of battle performance bonuses. So if you get certain results on your ship starting at Tier 5, the ability to receive several gifts at once in one battle. Okay. If a player has 100 or more ships, they will be able to receive the standard gift for winning a battle. So these are like snowflakes. They will be able to receive the standard gift for winning a battle or reaching 300 base XP milestone with a certain ship, which you can typically do in a co-op battle. In a co-op battle, you're almost guaranteed to win. But nonetheless, you can usually get 300 base XP too. As well as a variable number of additional rewards for reaching higher base XP thresholds. Now, that's interesting. So it sounds like you get the snowflake gift or whatever you want to call it off of the ship plus some extra rewards. The number of bonus gifts a player gets at the end of the battle depends on how many ships they have in their port and the amount of experience earned. So if you got more than 300 ships, you'll be able to earn 4 gifts in one battle. 1 for going into battle on the ship, 3 for performance. Not receive same rewards for the same ship more than once. Interesting. So this is kind of like a snowflake event. And here is an example. I'll just say everybody check this out. It's given an example of 1200 base XP or higher in a battle when you have 500 plus ships in port. You've got 5 additional stars to clear off of other ships of your choosing. So that means you can grind these out faster. So let's say you got 500 ships, get 1200, you get clear the one off the ship you played, plus you get 5 more stars, I guess, to clear off of other ships. That's very interesting. See, that means if you got 500 ships, you don't have to play 500 darn battles. You could theoretically, now 1200 base XP, that means that you need to be playing that in randoms or something where you can get that kind of base XP. That's not typically going to be co-op. 400 base XP, I could see that, but yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Battleship. One of the new activities will be the Battleship minigame available in the Armory. You'll need a special resource, which is entry tickets, which you get by completing special combat missions. In the minigame, you play against an AI. You get event tokens for sinking ships and winning. Then they can be exchanged in the armory, permanent camos and permanent economic packages, etc. Interesting. Oh, and when they say battleship, they actually mean like the game Battleship. Like, you sunk my battleship. That game. Okay. I had no clue what the heck when they said a battleship minigame. I thought it was, shooting at 2 ships. I mean, what the heck? Well, that's crazy. Okay. Interesting. Here's the one that seems interesting. Updated operations. And I apologize. I keep slouching in my chair. That is unacceptable. In 11.8, they've updated operations so that players can participate on more of their favorite ships and earn rewards for it. So now you can do tier 6 to tier 8 ships, and you can go into battle at the same time, and the final composition of the team will affect the strength of the bots and the post-match earnings. And then the fee for re-entering the battle on the same ship is removed. Okay, that's interesting. So now they're saying you can just go in tier 6 to tier 8, and I guess the more tier 6s, the weaker the AI bots, and the more tier 8s, the stronger. So interesting. The economics will change. So previously you got a variable number of stars based on performance and rewards which would be received once. Now stars are removed entirely, and rewards can instead be earned by completing special daily and weekly combat missions specifically designed for the operations, which will give community tokens as reward. So are they... So it sounds like they're doing away with the star system. Yeah, they're doing away with the star system. So depending on what the rewards are, it might mean if you haven't done it, you might want to go try and max out your stars on all of your current operations before this update goes live. I do like this possibility here, though. I'm interested to see this. It might get me interested in playing an occasional operation. And for those players that don't care about playing randoms or whatever and tend to like co-ops, well, this is a great other place to potentially go where you're not playing against other players. You might play with them, but not against them. So together with the update of the mode itself, 3 operations will return. So Ultimate Frontier, Hermes, and Cherry Blossom will return. Interesting. In update 11.8, there will no longer be an operation of the week. So basically, when you play with a matchmaker selected team, the scenario is selected randomly, so you don't know what scenario it's going to be. It is still possible to independently choose which scenario if you enter as a division. So I'm assuming it can be a partial division where you're still being filled out by random players as well. But that is very interesting. So basically the matchmaker is getting involved to some extent. Very interesting concepts there. So do away with the stars. Just take whatever tier 6 to tier 8, doesn't matter. You know, the more tier 8, the more higher tier ships, the stronger the AI, the more lower tier ships, the weaker. Definitely sounds like it has merit. And we get these other operations back, the Ultimate Frontier, Hermes, and Cherry Blossom. So that is cool. Reload mechanics changes. The reloading mechanics when switching shell type have changed. Okay. Now, if you switch shell type with a gunfeeder commander skill, it's accelerated even if not all of the main battery guns have finished loading as the skill previously required. Now you got shell change time. So if current reload time of the gun is higher than that parameter, the shell type switch won't affect gun reload time. If the current reload time is less than the shell change time, then it becomes equal to the shell change. So it sounds like if your guns aren't in sync, now instead of having to wait for all of them to reload, you know, before you switch, is saying that if you try and switch shell types, that if you've got the gun feeder skill, that you'll get a bonus on those that still have a lot of reload time to go, is what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, mechanic is applied to each turret separately. That makes sense. So yeah, you can read some of this to get to the, but that's interesting. So it's applying to each individual turret. Excellent. Brawl. So in 11.8, we got 4 brawls. First one's going to be September 9 to 12. 3 versus 3 on Tier 8 aircraft carriers. What in the actual hell? Well, you know what? There you go. That's fine. If you want carriers in a brawl, just let it be carriers. I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not very okay with making a brawling feature and having carriers be able to be in there with other ship types. If that's the thing to do, just let carriers duke it out amongst themselves. Let people decide if they want to take a, let's see, this is a Tier 8, so let them decide if they want to take their German aircraft carrier and trick that bad puppy out for secondaries and charge in amongst the other carriers, or how they want to do it. That's fine. Second brawl, 12 versus 12 on Tier 8 battleships. Wowzer. That's a lot of battleships, folks. Third brawl will be 12 versus 12 on Tier 8 cruisers. And fourth brawl will be 12 versus 12 on Tier 8 DDs. That's interesting. So this is a little more interesting than the previous brawl, which I just didn't want to play at all once I realized aircraft carriers were involved. Cool. Next, adding and editing content. So, added Sea Lord permanent camouflage. Okay. Commander Unsinkable Sam for British, for German and British ships. So, Unsinkable Sam. And commemorative flags for Tokachi and Admiral Schroeder. Okay. New containers with economic bonuses have been added to the game. I'll let you read this without going through all this myself, but you can get common, special, rare, unique bonuses. Cool, just fine. Alternative versions of the tactical container have been added to the game. They'll differ in composition of rewards. Wow. So updated the portraits of German commanders and added some new ones. Okay. Appearance of the gift container has been updated, and new ships have been added to the super container and steam super container list. So what has been added? Repulse, Baron, Karl von Schönberg, Maya, FR-25, Brandenburg, Chikhalov, Hornet, Rochester, Dalian, Giuseppe Verdi, Tulsa, Kearsarge, Carnot. New ships have been added to the premium Tier 6 ship container. Repulse, Baron, KVS. New ships added to premium Tier 7 container, Maya and FR, and to Tier 8 container, Brandenburg, Chikhalov, Hornet, and Rochester have been added. So, wow, that was another quite lengthy dev blog, but some cool things in there. I like a little more what they did with the brawls this time. I'm really interested. The reload changes or reload mechanics are here and there for me. I mean, it's cool that they individualized it to the turrets. And then the operations update. I'm really interested to see how that's going to work and how well that works. So, yeah, that is great. So that is the last of the dev blogs that were released today on August 4th. So that was my initial read and reaction. Have not seen these before right now, so that's why I was taking the time to kind of read through them. So